I think I found some exciting news when it comes to Hedera. And what is that? Not too long ago, it was announced that on a post on X from even Hedera themselves, right? It says that Crypto Autos, the world's first crypto automotive marketplace, has officially integrated with Hedera. Now, we also take a look at how it says this unlocks new possibilities for secure, fast, and efficient transactions in the automotive world. Now, quite essentially, the way I take a look at, crypto autos, even though I've never heard about it before, this post, the way I take a look at it is that it's basically like an online marketplace where people can like buy and sell cars. Now, more specifically, it's like focused on luxury cars, at least from what I've noticed. And also from my understanding, it's based out in the UK, allegedly, right? Now, the United Kingdom, mate, that's just the way I take a look at it. Check out my British accent. But even besides that point, here's the thing. When I take a look at something like this, why do I think it's exciting news? It's because, for instance, right, I think this could very well spark new partnerships in the automotive industry for Hedera moving forward. And it's not like it's bad, right? For instance, you take a look at, according to Fortune Business Insights, they do state how the global automotive e-commerce market size is expected to be worth around $343 billion by 2032. So that's insane right there. I mean, come on, right? That's bigger than some countries' GDP. So when you take a look at it, there's a lot of potential there. And why would Hedera have a bad time being adopted in that market? I mean, it's really amazing, right? So I don't see why, again, something like this would be bad at all. Now, some people may think, oh, who cares about like luxury cars or whatever like that? There is a market for that. Personally, for me, I could care less about buying fancy cars. That stuff's not my jam. You know what I mean? I don't care about that type of stuff. But even besides that point, a lot of people do. And a lot of people, more specifically, they're very into buying luxury cars and all this type of stuff. So I guess that's great, right? Why don't I like buying, fancy cars? It's because cars, to me, for the most part, I'm not talking about like collector vehicles. The way I take a look at it is that it's a depreciating asset. So instead of spending a lot on some random nonsense, like expensive cars like a Ferrari or whatever, I'd much rather just not do that. At least that's the way I view it. Now, I'm not saying be totally frugal, but then at the same time, it's kind of like, I just don't even really like it anyways. But yeah, we're getting off topic here. Here's the thing. When I take a look at Hedera, right, sometimes people have to say, oh yeah, it's trash, it's caca. But take a look at, progressively each and every day, like each and every week, it seems like new things are always coming out. And usually it's like this positive factors, or should I say like in some cases positive news when it comes to Hedera, because I think people are beginning to understand just how special Hedera hash graph is, a directed acyclic graph, aka a DAG for short, right? This is so revolutionary. Yeah, sure. Is Ethereum getting more partnerships? Of course, right? Is Solana getting more partnerships? Of course. But then you got to consider their blockchains. Hedera Hashgraph, again, doesn't utilize traditional blockchain technology. It's just a totally different breed. The way I view it is that it's in such a unique, position to the point that it virtually has no competitors. Now, if we take a look back at this like partnership with, crypto autos, right? Allegedly. Now, here's the thing. The way I take a look at it is that even though they might not become like the biggest player again in the automotive space in terms of e-commerce, it doesn't really matter because this quite essentially can give, a reference point for future, partnerships to come again, right? Because if they take a look at this, they see it works out well. They see how amazing Hedera is. It could create this snowball effect. You know what I mean? It's like, for instance, it creates a lot more social proof. If 11 people believe in something, the 12th person who joins the group, quite essentially, they're going to have a higher probability of believing that exact same thing as well. Now, this is just theoretical, but then again, social proof sometimes does matter when it comes to adoption. And when it comes to Hedera, man, I do really like it. And even if you take a look at what they did with Karate Combat, right? I like that. I like that partnership, in my opinion. People are into like the UFC, BKFC, and maybe in some cases, even KFC. And a lot of people, they've been saying, hey, dude, have you been eating too much KFC? Well, no, actually, I've been eating a little bit too much McDonald's. But besides that point, diet starts tomorrow. At least that's the way I take a look at it, as the old saying goes. But yeah, even besides that point, here's the thing. When I take a look at Hedera, it's pretty much one of a kind. Some people like to say it's caca, it's trash. But as of right now, $3 for HBAR seems like more realistic than ever before, right? Because previously, everyone thought it was trash because they saw Pepe outperform it, book a meme, a bunch of other random nonsense. But the way I take a look at it is that HBAR was going to have its day. I just didn't see why it wouldn't, because when it comes to Hedera Hashgraph, I was like, caralho, porra. I mean, come on. This right here is so unique. It's so special. Now, here's the thing as well. People oftentimes like to say that, oh yeah, HBAR doesn't have good exposure. Well, it's listed in some pretty decent exchanges, and I even covered, the BitGet news when it comes to HBAR. So it's heading up there. And even if, let's say, HBAR doesn't get listed in like any more new exchanges, so to speak, I still think it's more than enough as of right now for HBAR to go to the price of $3 during this bull run. Now, this is just hypothetical, but that's just the way to take a look at it. As more and more positive news comes out, it's really just going to add, more fuel to the fire. At least that's the way to take a look at it when it comes to this, because as HBAR does a lot better, as the sentiment increases, as the partnerships increases, as the bullish news comes out more and more, right? It's just all just amazing when it comes to HBAR. So that's why I'm still acquiring HBAR, even though I've been up by quite a lot actually when it comes to HBAR, because I have been talking about it for quite a while now. I've been acquiring HBAR ever since the beginning of 2023. So it's basically been like 2 years at this point, but I'm still not changing my strategy. I'm still dollar cost averaging, any time and income, acquiring, holding, and just waiting. That's it. That's just the way I view it. It's so simple. It's not day trading, it's not using leverage. It's nothing like that. The way I view it is that, I'm just still continuing to accumulate more and more HBAR because I believe in its future. And even after this bull run is over, like let's say HBAR goes to the price of $3 or maybe even beyond, who knows? It's eventually going to have a pullback. That's just the belly of the beast. That's just the nature of it. At least that's the way to take a look at it. Now, if it were to do that, it's eventually going to stabilize at a certain point. I'm still going to even be accumulating HBAR then because I still believe in its future. I think it's going to be around for multiple decades to come. That's just the way I view it. I mean, when you have a governing council that includes like the likes of Google and, Boeing, I mean, come on, man. This right here, I think is going to be around for the long haul. At least that's the way I view it. Not financial advice, of course, nor a guarantee. But, if something like Luna Classic and Pub and, Litecoin can do so amazing, especially back in 2021 for Litecoin, right? Also, if Klima DAO can find a bottom, HBAR can't do well during this bull run. I mean, I think it could hypothetically go to the price of $3. Keep in mind, $3 as of right now is around a 10x from here. So again, it just feels like very realistic at this point. And imagine once HBAR goes to the price of $1, $2 at that point is just a 2x away. That's just a really big psychological barrier that people sometimes need to see, happen in order for them to believe. But for me, I'm not going to wait for that. But I can't deny the fact that if it were to go to the price of $1, it would really allow for a lot more volume for it to reach the price of $2. And at that point, of course, $3, it just doesn't seem that difficult anymore. So that's why when it comes to HBAR, I'm still very positive. I still really believe in it. And again, I just think it's a much better pick for me instead of like some random nonsense like Ethereum or Bitcoin. Really, it's just such a no-brainer pick for me. And I like HBAR, right? I love Hedera. I think it's really amazing. Not to mention as well, when I take a look at what it could be 10 years, 20 years later, even beyond this bull run, I'm very excited. And I really can't wait. All I got to do right now is just stay patient, continue to accumulate more and more HBAR because let's say around 6 months to a year from right now, man, it could be so special. I think 2025 could be a time to truly shine for many altcoins out there and also even Bitcoin. Bitcoin at least reaching the price of $200,000 in 2025. I just don't see why not. If it were to do that, a high tide raises all ships, as the old saying goes. I don't see why HBAR won't go to the price of $3. But again, it's just a waiting game. I don't have a magic crystal ball to tell the future or something like that, even though that'd be cool. I can't deny that. Of course, I'd like something like that, but it doesn't exist. But I'm just saying, the way I take a look at it is that, all I gotta do is just stay patient. And again, $3 for HBAR wouldn't surprise me whatsoever during this bull run. And make sure to subscribe if you gain value from this video. I greatly appreciate it. It's been Lee the Captain, and I'll catch y'all on the next one. I'm a peace. Bye.